Why don't kids listen to you?
A million different reasons. You're a nag, you lecture, you shame, you blame, you're repetitive, you're not organized, you're inconsistent. If you're a leader, they never tune you out, ever.
All these teachers are asking me how to help him listen. He listens to me. He's so stubborn when he doesn't want to do something.
I'm going to challenge that. Does he really listen to you, or do you just tell him what he wants to hear? There's no way he's a good listener at home and not everywhere else. Welcome to the BratBusters Parenting Podcast. My name's Lisa Bunnage. I'm a parenting coach. I'm a mom. I'm also a grandmother.
And I'm Amy Bunnage, Lisa's daughter, and I handle the marketing and planning here at BratBusters. While I don't have kids, each episode will dive into parenting topics and Lisa will answer your questions. Let's get started.
Hello, welcome to our latest podcast. What are we talking about today, sweetie?
Today is why kids tune you out and how to fix it.
What?
Very funny. So why don't kids listen to you?
Well, there's too many reasons. You're a nag, you lecture, you shame, you blame, you're repetitive, you're not organized, you're inconsistent. A million different reasons. You're emotionally unstable. They'll tune you out because they can't handle it. Too many reasons. You're not a leader. If you're a leader, they never tune you out, ever. Yeah, there's too many reasons.
Could it be like Seinfeld, just a quiet talker?
I'm quiet talking.
Maybe not the joke to make on a podcast.
Because I was mouthing talking. No. Because if you're a leader, they're going to listen to you whisper. One of the best teachers we ever knew was Mrs. Walker, Ann Walker. Both my kids lucked out and got her in grade 3. Actually, she was the one who said, and she never singled kids out. And she said on the side to me, she goes, "We're all going to be working for Amy one day." And here I virtually am working for her now because she tells me what to do. She does all the planning for the business and marketing and that. So, but yeah, Ann Walker was just one of those. She was the teacher, the senior teacher, all the other teachers went to for advice. But if she was correcting the kids, she would whisper. And when my son, he was older, he had her first. And he goes, "Mom, she's just like you. When she gets mad, she whispers." So whenever I was disciplining, I'd say, "I'll tell you what, here's what we're going to do." And that's what she would do. And the whole class would get quiet and listen. So they'll listen to a leader no matter what. But they wouldn't listen if you yelled because leaders don't yell.
And how do you get kids to listen?
You become a leader. I don't know what to say. What am I supposed to say to that? It's a big picture thing. It takes ages to explain all that. You use a behavior board to get going. You work on your leadership skills. Check out the pool story. That's the goal. That's where you want to go, is that pool story. That's how you want to deal with pretty much everything. So you deal with bad behavior, then you focus on the good kid, bring out the best in them, and then they want to please you. That is how you get them to listen. Set yourself up as a leader. It's never them. You're never fixing kids. We're fixing and teaching parents here. It's never the kids. They're just a reflection of your parenting. Even when I was working with kids, if they acted out with me I was just a volunteer behavioral mentor. If they acted out with me, I always thought, what am I missing here? What am I doing wrong? A leader looks in the mirror. You don't blame the kid.
You're saying it's not like a light switch, like you just flip it and they listen.
You got to earn that. I worked my butt off to get that leadership with all kids I worked with, especially the teenagers. I earned it. You gotta earn that. And once you've got it, you get it. Maintaining leadership is easy. Getting it is hard work. But it's worth it. Once you've got it, it's sort of cemented. You just got to be consistent.
Okay, maybe we'll get into the questions.
Sure.
Okay, so we have Catherine from the United States. So a 7-year-old and then twins who are 4. I struggle with what to do when my children refuse anything, from it's time to come inside to sit at the table. They try to negotiate everything. I don't want to punish, so I guess I don't quite know what to do or say when they don't listen because I don't know what the consequence should be. I know I need to start working on my leadership, but I don't even know where to start.
Start it this way. Say, it's not that they don't listen, it's that you don't lead. So what are you doing wrong? What are you not doing? So just start with the behavior board. You might want to look into my course because you got 3 kids and they could all be on a behavior board, and the course is more inclusive, like it's more information in there. But anyway, if you can just want the free behavior board, you can start there. And just start with 1 rule per week. And you just say, come inside within 5 minutes of being asked to do so. That could be a good one if you can't get them to come inside if they're playing outside. Just start with 1 rule at a time. So don't focus on them not listening. Think about, what am I doing wrong? You're looking at the wrong thing. You are the cause of them not listening. It's not them at all. It's you. So you just start with the behavior board, and that's the start of your leadership skills. Like, I would never use a behavior board. It's a teaching tool. I invented that 20 years ago, and I put the parents on there too. It has rules and consequences for everybody 3 and over. And just start there. It's the start of your leadership journey. It's the training wheels. And what would you call the course, the boot camp course? If the free behavior board is the training wheels, what is that, the driving lessons? Would that be like, if we're going to go with this driving theme?
I don't know. Do we need to continue the analogy the entire way?
I don't even know why I went there. Anyway, so yeah, the course would it's just more, there's more to it. It's 5 weeks long, and it doesn't use a behavior board after a while. The behavior board is just a teaching tool, how to get organized and how to calm down and how to focus on one behavior at a time or one rule at a time. Because you don't try and master them all. I would. If I was to go into your house or deal with kids, I'd do everything in day one because I'm level 10 with what I teach because I invented all this stuff. It's just, through experience. So, but just start with one rule per week, master that, and then move on to something else. Then you'll have 2 rules. By week 3, you'll have 3 rules, and then you want to go off the board. That's what the course goes into. So anyway, it's never the kids. It's not that they're not listening. You're just not talking right. That's the problem.
Okay, we'll get into the next questions. We have Kelly from the United States. I'm a single mom of 2 boys, ages 2.5 and 4. I feel like they have a lot of control over every situation. I'm constantly threatening and exhausted. I have no idea where to start. What could the first day of me taking charge look like? They're always fighting and will not listen a lot of the time, especially around mornings and bedtime. I'm going insane.
Geez, I don't know what the first thing to do. Let's just pick one. Let's say I wouldn't pick no fighting. It's too difficult because you got a 2.5-year-old. They can't be on a behavior board yet. I would probably pick something to focus on with the 4-year-old. And I would probably say something like this. I want you to put your shoes and your jacket away within 10 minutes of arriving home. Something like that. You just get started, and the idea is you get a small success and it eggs you on to get more. So just start there. Use the behavior board with the 4-year-old, the 2.5-year-old. The behavior board's completely free, by the way, but it has a toddler section too. So it'll explain how you deal with the toddler. And you might want to encourage them to do the shoes and the jacket away too, but they're not going to get a consequence. Okay, they're too young. So you focus on the 4-year-old, master that with the 4-year-old first, and the 2-year-old will be 3 soon. They can go on a behavior board. In the meantime, just use consistent corrective actions with bad behavior. But don't try and get a 2.5-year-old to do anything yet. That's harder. I would do it, but when you're learning, don't focus on the 2.5-year-old.
So you've talked about before, it's not specifically about what the rules are. It's more just about the fact that you're building the leadership.
You're building trust in your leadership. You're learning a skill here, basically, and the kids are watching and they realize you're learning a skill. Do you know what's interesting is all kids need, crave, and want a leader, but they'll fight you as if they don't want one. They're actually fighting to push you in to become one. They're challenging you. It's like that 8-year-old that I first worked with, and he said to me, and the first time I met him, if you don't give me what I want, I'm going to have a fit. And I said to him, bring it on. Like, you don't scare me. So I was challenging him. Like, in other words, go for it. I don't care. And he never did. He was great with me. So that's a kid who was he was known for being very challenging, very difficult. And he comes up against a leader. He calmed him right down. You could see he was thinking, oh, she knows what she's doing. And he was happy, calmed right down. He was good with me. The teacher later said, what did you do? And I said, oh, I just asked him to have a fit. And he never did. So they all crave that. They lean into it when you're good at it, but don't show anger. Like I would never show anger. I just said, bring it on. I'm like, sure, have a fit. Doesn't bother me. He had no control over me. None over my emotions. There's no way he could make me angry. And there's no way he could get me to beg for him not to have a fit. Well, you shouldn't have a fit. Oh, God, I would never talk like that. What a wuss. God, no. No, no, no. He was challenging me. If you don't give me what I want, I'm going to have a fit. What a challenge. I took it. Go for it. Have a fit. Who cares? It didn't bother me a bit. And he never did. That's what was interesting. I thought he would have. I was kind of ready. I was kind of hoping he would, because I always say behind every fit, scene, meltdown, and tantrum is a lesson. It's an opportunity for me to exercise my leadership by not being manipulated by that stuff. He didn't even have a fit. I didn't expect that. He was great with me because he leaned into the leadership. It was like you could almost see him thinking, oh, finally a leader. Phew, that's what I've been screaming for all these years.
Called his bluff.
Called his bluff. Well, it wasn't a bluff because he normally did have fits. But it wasn't a bluff with me. It was just like, oh, she knows what she's doing. And it calmed him down. Because I wasn't saying don't have a fit. I didn't challenge him. He challenged me, but I didn't challenge him back. Like I didn't argue. I just said, sure, go ahead. I'll be sitting here filing my nails if you do. Like, what do I care if you have a fit? It's none of my business. That's the attitude I have. And they pick up on that. very quickly. He picked up on that really fast. Anyway, next.
Okay, we have Jody from the United States. So, 20-month-old son will listen to dad and not mom when correcting behavior or tantrums. How do we get him to listen to mom when having to discipline?
Well, I don't know what dad's doing, so maybe she can model what dad's doing. I don't know. I can't answer that. I can't answer why the child is listening to dad. I don't know what he's doing. Is he the authority style, which is more fear-based? I don't teach that. I teach leadership. So does he know that dad's calm and knows what he's doing? If you get flustered and you get upset, he sees that as weak. So if he is getting difficult, don't show any fear. They go in for the kill when you do. So yeah, just see what dad's doing. If he's a good leader, then just model him. But if he's an authority, you might want to look into my course, toddler course. So you can both be leaders, because the authority will backfire in the teen years or even before that, because that's the authority is fear-based, and they are, you do what I say, and because I'm the parent kind of thing. They will rebel against that. They'll never rebel against a leader because they got nothing to rebel against. Like my son was 15 and he says, I could never even rebel. And he was kind of mad when he said this because he wanted to rebel. And he says, I could never even rebel because you're too reasonable and easy to talk to. I thought, wow, out of the mouths of babes, eh? I thought, wow, what a line he just gave me. I never forgot that.
You've never forgot that. And boy, you bring that up a lot. I think every second podcast you've brought that one up.
I was absolutely shocked that he actually gave me that. What a gift. He could never rebel because he had nothing to rebel against. I was too reasonable and easy to talk to. Wow. I apologized in front of him. Then I walked away and clicked my heels together with joy.
Because I do think that if someone is listening to your stuff for the first time and they just get one little snippet, they possibly might think it is more the authority style.
Not at all. I sound like it is, but I'm not. Because the thing is, I'm not, how do I explain this? The way I am with children is very different from the way I am with you and adults. I'm very vulnerable, very goofy, very silly with kids. But if they do something bad, I know how to correct it. So I come across talking about this more like I sound like the authority. I'm very aware of that. It's just my nature to kind of act tough, but I'm not. I'm a marshmallow underneath it all. But I'm very much a leader with kids, but I'm not in my personal life. I'm a follower in my personal life with adults. But with kids, I'm very much a leader. But I'm very goofy, very vulnerable, very humble, and just silly with kids. Am I?
Yeah, you should see her as well with her granddaughter. Oh my gosh. She is on the floor.
Oh, I'm in it. I'm in it. I'm going down the slide with her. I was trying to figure out how to do the flying fox. I think that's an Australian term. A flying fox is that thing that you sit on that goes on a zip line. Is that what it's called? The zip line here? But in Australia, they call it the flying fox. Anyway, I was trying to, she's only 15 months old, and I was trying to figure out how to ride that thing with her. The two of us.
I just don't think that's possible.
I don't think I decided I had to abandon that, but that's me trying to figure it out. And I was going down the slide, and one of the kids said to his mom, her grandmother, oh, look at, what did he say? An old lady or a grandma? Look at that grandma going down the slide. All the other grandmas were sitting watching the kids. I'm on that slide. Yeah, and then you said to me, because she was visiting while I had the granddaughter, and she said, you're so in your element. And I thought, I just am. This is when I'm at my best. When I like myself the most is when I'm with kids. I'm very vulnerable. I'm not like that with adults. I'm very more guarded. And I'm kind of act tough. I don't know why. My son's the same.
Not with people that you're close
to.
No,
not in my inner circle. God, no. They know what a doofus I am. But with kids, I like myself the most when I'm with kids, or my inner circle, obviously. But yeah, I'm very vulnerable with kids, and they like that. It makes them feel good because I enjoy them. I think that's it too. I love kids. I love being around them. I love playing with them. I understand them, and it comes across. It really helps, and obviously what I teach, it helps. But yeah, they pick up on that. They know when you enjoy them, but I don't take any crap either. I'm very quick to correct. So, but yeah, my granddaughter, I spend all day with her. She's just, oh God, freaking cute. I didn't think I'd enjoy grandparenting this much. And now don't get me wrong, because I thought, well, parenting was so phenomenal. How is it going to match? Because it's not my kid and I don't live with them, right? So, but the interesting thing is, I didn't expect this. From the second she came out of the womb, I loved her as much as I love my own kids right away. It was instant. And I didn't expect that. I thought it would be more bonding, or I don't know. I didn't expect that. So yeah, it's pretty terrific. But I relate to kids very well because I really do enjoy them. And I know how to get the best out of them. That's how, you can't enjoy them when they're acting out. If they're acting out, I don't enjoy them, by the way, when they're acting out. Like if I'm first getting to work with kids, I don't enjoy that at all. but I know how to do it to get the best out of them, so I will enjoy them. I want to enjoy children, but I know how to get the best out of them so I can enjoy them. That was a rant, wasn't it? That's because I started talking about my grandchild, and I should shut up about that because it gets me going because she's just so freaking cute.
Well, I
Anyway.
think my intention with discussing the authority style is more like, I think if someone listens to a wide variety of your videos, I don't think they would get that. But I think if they just listen to one short 30-second video and possibly that video is on ignoring tantrums, they might mistake that. So maybe, do you want to go into the top 3 leadership qualities? Because I know that you say you don't love talking about those, but I do think that it gives
I just think
people,
it's boring.
well, if it's their first time hearing about your calm leadership style, this might give them a good idea.
Okay. This is my top 3 leadership qualities. I teach calm leadership parenting. That's basically, it's just a term I penned years ago. Number 1, these are my top 3 leadership qualities. Number 1, stay calm during the storms. When you are correcting or disciplining children, you stay calm like a business transaction. No emotions, no anger, no disappointment, no shaming, no blaming. None of that. You just say, okay, that was bad, so here's a consequence. Just call it like it is. That was bad. You hit someone. That was bad. So you hit, here's a consequence. That's it. It's over. Number 2, you be crazy during the rainbows. Play with kids, connect with them in their world. Be silly, be vulnerable, have fun with them, laugh with them. They just are different when you get. You know what's interesting is I was at the park. Do you know how many kids came up and talked to me? I found that I'm not around kids a lot anymore. So here I am at the park with my 15-month-old granddaughter. Do you know how many kids came over and talked to me? Like just chatting. So, because they can tell that you're an engaging adult, that you like kids. And I'm not sweetsy with them. I'm very, oh, who are you? They just love that. I'm just real with them. But anyway, so be crazy during the rainbows. Try and connect with kids that they love that. Make them feel like they're enjoyed. And they will follow you around and they'll try and please you. Number 3, be a great listener. This especially when they start to have a vocabulary, when they're about 4 and 5 years old. Become a really good listener. You listen to understand and show empathy. You don't listen to gather information to lecture with or even give advice to. You let them unload on you, and then you say, oh, gee, that would be frustrating. What do you think you should do about that? I always encourage my kids to be their own problem solvers. I didn't want to come in and save the day because then they would be weak. I wanted them to be strong and have a lot of confidence. So my mom did that for me too. She never solved my problems. Well, she probably did, but I didn't know it. She would say, well, you're a smart girl. You can figure it out. And then we'd start talking. She was probably feeding me ideas, but I was so up myself. I thought I was coming up with them all myself. So when I did the same with my kids, they're both really good problem solvers. They're not whiny, negative at all. Because I didn't have any tolerance for that. I would just say, well, don't whine about it. What are you talking? That's what I would have said if they'd whined. I would have said, come on, what are you going to do about it? Come on, let's talk about it. Come on, you can do it. So I was always encouraging them to be strong. But if they were crying, it was all hugs too. I don't like to admit that stuff, but I was pretty demonstrative mother.
Yeah, let's balance this out. I wasn't bawling my eyes out. And she's like, come on, what are you going to do to fix it?
No, I was, yeah. Yeah, not at all. I do have a real soft spot for kids, but yeah, I don't like to talk about that. I don't know why. I get embarrassed. I get all self-conscious. Why is that? I don't know. Kids know how I feel about them.
I think it's just an important thing to touch on because when you're talking about leadership, if this is someone's first time hearing, maybe that gives a little bit more context to it.
Okay, sure, okay. Yeah, I like kids. They're all right.
They're fine. Next question.
Next question.
Okay. We have Evan from the United States. My son, 5, just this year has not been listening to any teachers. He goes to a snowboarding class and just tells the teacher he doesn't want to do any of it and won't. His preschool teacher is asking us to get him to listen when he thinks things are boring and doesn't want to do it. His Bible study teacher says he won't listen. He stayed in a tent and she told him to get out and he flat out wouldn't. All these teachers are asking me how to help him listen. He listens to me. What can I do to help them other than be consistent at home? He's so stubborn when he doesn't want to do something.
Oh, I'm going to challenge that. Does he really listen to you, or do you just tell him what he wants to hear? There's no way he's a good listener at home and not everywhere else. It would more likely be the other way around. I'm going to challenge that. I'm suggesting he might be spoiled and you give in to him too much. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. Why on earth would he listen to you unless you're just telling him what he wants to hear? It doesn't make any sense to me. I know kids, it doesn't add up unless there's some extenuating circumstance there. I don't know. Does he really listen to you, or you just give in to him and tell him what he wants to hear? Because otherwise it makes no sense at all.
So how would you approach this then?
I wouldn't give in to him all the time. You got to change yourself. You lead and he will follow. When he follows you, he'll follow everyone else when needed, like the leaders, right? He'll follow when he needs to. You don't want him following all the kids around, but you want him following the teachers. So if you lead, he will respect others. I'm suggesting he doesn't respect you either. If he doesn't respect all those other adults, I don't see how. You know why? And I'll tell you why it doesn't add up. My kids would have been humiliated to face me if a teacher had said they were being naughty. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you have just died if I had heard? I would have gone, what? If I ever heard that they were being disrespectful to someone at school or wherever, they would not have wanted to face me because I was a leader. They would not want to, they would be humiliated because they looked up to me. I was their leader. I would have been shocked. So yeah, I'm suggesting he doesn't respect you at all. You might be a bit of a dish rag that he's, or a bath mat that he's wiping his feet on. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. So work on your leadership skills, set up a behavior board. Don't give in to him. Don't spoil him. Don't tell him what he wants to hear. Tell him what he needs to hear. And have a consequence. If you act out or don't listen to the teacher, then when you come home, you'll get a consequence.
Now that's interesting because you always say don't put listening on the behavior board.
Yeah, but don't listen to the teacher. That's okay to say that. Like, in other words, don't follow the rules with the teacher. Like, in other words, he has to follow the rules at school.
Could that be the first rule?
That is disrespecting. So stop however you want to word it. So yeah, you can put that down for sure. But you can't put listen on the board, but you can put it down for, in other words, follow the rules at school. However you want to word it. He has to follow the rules when he's at school, when he's at snowboarding, when he's wherever else that he's disrespecting people. He has to do what they say. He has to respect them.
Is that too big of an ask for the first behavior board?
No, because when he comes home, really what you're doing is you're trying to set yourself up as a leader. Now, when the thing is that, okay, it sounds like I'm contradicting myself, but I'm not. Because you're going to deal with that. When he comes home after being disrespectful or naughty, basically just being naughty. So he's naughty at school. If you're naughty at school, you're naughty at snowboarding, there's going to be a consequence when you come home. Okay? Then when he comes home, you are setting yourself up as the leader now. Don't set other people up as the leader. You set yourself up as the leader. So when he comes home, say you were naughty. I got a report from the snowboard teacher, said that you were being naughty, you were disruptive, you weren't listening. So there's going to be a consequence. Okay? So put it on the behavior board. Respect your teachers or listen to your teachers, whatever you want. It's different from just saying you listen, because if you can't say that for yourself, by the way. The leader cannot say that, but you can tell him to listen to other people, if that makes any sense. Does that? Okay, I want to explain that because it might not make sense. You never say you listen to me. You got to earn that. But you are getting him to respect you by laying down that rule that he has to respect his teachers. It's so clear in my own head, but I can see why people would be confused by that. Because you never tell a child to listen to a leader. You are setting yourself up as a leader by not allowing him to be disrespectful to other adults at school or whatever. Follow the rules. Just put down, follow the rules. Word it however you want. Follow the rules. Don't disrespect teachers, whatever you want. And then when he comes home, you're the leader. Never say, don't disrespect me or don't, because we're dealing with attitude here. But it's different. He's 5 years old and it's at school. And I'm guessing you have to be a bath mat that he's wiping his feet on. Otherwise, it doesn't add up. So you want to set yourself up as a leader and then he'll be good with everyone. There's no way my kids would want to face me if they were acting out at school. They'd be embarrassed. Not that they were afraid of me, it was embarrassment. Like, I would be humiliated. If my mom was disappointed in me, she was my leader. I would have been disappointed. I would have been humiliated for my mom to find out I was acting out. That's the leader. That's the power of the leader. And then what happens is they end up getting self-respect, because basically when a kid's acting like he doesn't like himself. He has very low self-esteem. He might have bravado and seeming confidence, which is different from self-esteem. So his self-esteem has to be in the toilet to be treating people like that. So you're not doing him any favors by letting him walk all over you, which I'm assuming he's doing. Otherwise, it doesn't add up.
Okay, the next question is Chanel from South Africa. How to teach my 2-year-old toddler to listen to his teacher in class?
You can't.
So very similar, but different age.
No, it's too young. Yeah, the 5-year-old's very different. He knows what he's doing. In other words, 2-year-old, no. That's more up to the teachers because they're in the moment, right in the present moment. That's all. It's usually the more experienced a daycare worker is, the less likely that is to happen. But you can't blame them for that. I mean, that's just, if you're dropping your kids off somewhere, there's not much you can do from afar. They're in the moment. So yeah, 2 is very different from 5. That 5-year-old knows what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. The 2-year-old, no, not so much. But work on your own skills at home. Use consistent corrective action with bad behavior. Play with him a lot in his world. Connect with him. And he's more likely to be well behaved when he's not with you. But he still may act out from time to time because they're 2.
Okay, the next question is Vanessa from Canada. My husband and I have 3 boys, 4, 3, and a newborn. We love hosting, but in the last year, it's been increasingly difficult to do it. Our boys get so excited when people come over and start bouncing off the walls. They're jumping around, throwing toys, trying to jump on guests, just being rambunctious boys. Now they do some of that with just us, but the behavior gets so bad when people come over and they do not listen. I require them to do good deeds for things that are on our behavior board, such as throwing toys, potty talk, hurting one another. But how do I stop the other behavior? I miss hosting and not stressing about my children's behavior before a guest comes over. I even try to set out new toys to play with before guests come so they will entertain themselves. Instead, they just want our guests' attention and will do everything good and bad to get it.
That says to me that you're inconsistent. If they're really well behaved with you alone at home, they're going to be well behaved with guests if you're the same parent. It says to me that you're a different parent when other people are around. I was exactly the same mother no matter where we were or who was around. But I wouldn't necessarily make a scene and discipline in the moment. I would just say, we're going to discuss this later. And that would be all my kids would need to hear. So, but yeah, it says to me you got to work on your leadership skills because there's no way they would they're 3 and 4, they can understand that. Also, meet their needs. Have they gone to the park beforehand, or are you just busy at home telling them you're busy all day setting up for guests? So maybe you're not meeting their needs. Have they been to the park throughout the day? Are they just bored? All of a sudden, they've been told to get out of my hair. I'm setting up for guests, get out of my hair all day long. And then guests come over and they go nuts. So that's part of it too. Are you meeting their needs? Are they getting lots of exercise, getting out there? That could be part of it. And it's good to set up something for them to do when the guests come over. But are you consistent? Are you the same parent when guests are there? Or do you kind of hold back because you'd be too embarrassed? I don't know. What are you laughing at? You laughing at the carpet guy?
No.
Oh.
Are you laughing about that embarrassing story of you and me?
I think we've already told that
We
one.
have. No, I'm not laughing about that. I'm laughing about the fact, and I'm sure lots of parents can relate. It's like when guests come over, the whole house, you kept a very clean house, but my goodness, that house is in prep mode. It's like you expect guests to go right into our bedrooms, into the 3rd drawer underneath, and to look in and be like, wow, this is disorganized. It's like everything had to be.
Well, my guess would have been more likely to look for a mess somewhere because everything was always the same. You could drop in on me, it would always look the same. But yeah, prep for guests is big. It just is, because you have to have the right drinks. You have to have stuff ready to go when they arrive. They always want something. You always think you're prepared for guests. But as soon as they arrive, they need something that you haven't got prepared. Oh, have you got this? Oh, shoot, I haven't got that. So yeah, it's just, it is a lot of work. So I'm guessing they've been ignored all day, and then guests come over and they go bananas. So it could be it.
I do remember that there was like a 4-hour period where we just don't talk to mom before guests come over.
Yeah. Well, plus I was a single mom too. So I was doing it all on my own, setting up all the chairs. They were helping out too, especially my son, because of course he was stronger. So, but still, it's prep, especially because every time we had a family event, it seemed to be like 30 people. So it was a lot of people to prep for. So yeah, it's a lot of work.
Okay, next question is Davini from the United States. So 6-year-old girl, 4-year-old boy, 2-year-old boy, and 1-year-old girl. My oldest, 6-year-old girl, likes to be the leader. She is constantly bossing around her younger siblings, and they will willingly follow her, as she often orchestrated fun. However, when she tells them to do something naughty like take treats from the cupboard and hide it, or run away from mom and dad when we are calling, the 4- and 2-year-old listen to her instead of mom and dad. How do I handle this situation?
Well, what's her consequence for doing that? What's her consequence for doing that? Like they only learn through consequences. So every time she's the ringleader in some crime, don't punish the other ones. They're just following her. Just say, I'll tell you what, if you follow bad behavior in the future, I'll also have a consequence for you. But this first time, we're going to go after your sister. And make sure the whole family gets something fun and she doesn't. It could be going out for donuts or something like that, and she misses out. Have a big lesson for that one. I might not even put that on the behavior board. I might try it free form and just say, and surprise her with that. Say, okay, in future, if you're going to be this ringleader with crime, there'll be a consequence. And then say, okay, we were going to surprise you. We're going to go out for donuts tonight, but because you did that, you orchestrated that crime, I'm going to stay home with you, and Dad's going to take out all the other kids for donut night or to the arcade or something really fun.
To clarify, so you are giving the warning beforehand?
You can. And don't say what you were going to do. Just say there's going to be a consequence. So don't tell her and just say it like it was going to be a surprise. Don't say that. Just say there'll be a consequence if you cause trouble, basically, and explain, you know what I'm talking about, and give her an example. And then when she does, then you say, by the way, just because you did that, you knew that was wrong, you got caught, right? So tonight we were going to surprise the whole family and go to the arcade. Now everyone's going, but you and I'll stay home. That's your consequence. That's your punishment for causing that trouble.
Okay, so to clarify.
Because she's 6, by the way. She's a little bit older. I would come in a little bit harder with that. Okay, clarify.
So to clarify, it's not if she's already done it and then you say next time there'll be a consequence. It's you talking to her just in general about it.
In general, yes. Let her know ahead of time. By the way, next time you cause trouble like this, you know what I'm talking about. Don't get into an argument. And then but I didn't mess it. But make sure you know when she's done it, okay? And then when she does it, say, okay, so you caused that. Remember I said there's going to be a consequence. We were going to all go out as a surprise tonight, blah, blah, blah.
You can see that could be fun, though, having a bunch of little minions.
Well, then you have to flip a coin to see who's stuck at home with the miserable 6-year-old.
That's actually a good point. So again, after the consequence has been...
Yeah. Then she's home. She's mad as anything, right? She's screaming at you. As soon as she's calmed down, hey, do you want to play a game? No, I hate you. I hate you. Okay, never mind. You try and connect. I don't care if she ever plays a game. At 6, it's hard to tell. 5, 4, and 3, they'll always play the game. But 6, she might not. She might dig her heels in. She's so mad at you. So then wait till she's calmed down a half hour later. You ready for that game now? No, I hate you. Okay, never mind. I don't care if she ever plays the game. I care that you give her that olive branch. You show her I still love you. I'm not mad. You're just dealing with the consequence of your actions. Period. Never feel bad about that. Allow them to deal with the consequences of the bad behavior. Don't feel bad about that. That's their lesson. They're less likely to do it in future.
Okay, we have one final question. So okay. Chelsea from the United Kingdom, starting the BratBusters board, but struggling with the one rule as my 6-year-old boy is just generally not listening. So resulting in us telling him 3 to 4 times over most things he's doing in a day.
Well, then you just start with one rule and you learn how to get him to listen to you. You learn how to get respect by using one rule at a time. So if you're repeating yourself 3 and 4 times, he just doesn't respect you at all. So you work on the behavior board, just pick one rule and follow through. Then week 2, you've got another behavior board, 2 rules. By week 3, you've got 3 rules. You should be starting to see some respect at that point because you're showing that you do know how to follow through with rules and consequences. So he will start to listen. If he thinks he's going to lose his iPad or whatever it is, I don't know, whatever you decide on, then he's more likely to listen to you and start respecting you. But you've got to be consistent. Pick a rule you know you can handle. In coaching, I'll often pick something difficult because they're working with me, right? I can help them through it. But if you're doing it on your own, start small. If you're doing this, a 6-year-old boy and he just doesn't listen, and you're repeating yourself, just say, put your shoes and your coat away within 5 minutes of arriving home. That is the rule. If he doesn't do it, there's a consequence. Check out the free behavior board. It explains all this.
Okay, that was it.
That was it. Thanks so much for joining us. And we'll be back again soon with some other topic that I never know what's coming up. That's up to Amy to tell me. So happy parenting. Bye now.
Thanks for tuning in. If you're ready to dive deeper, check out BratBusters.com to learn more about the behavior board, parenting courses, and private one-on-one coaching with Lisa. If you've enjoyed the show so far, we'd love it if you could take a moment to follow, rate, and review us on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback helps us reach more parents just like you. The information provided in this podcast is for general informational purposes only and is not intended as a substitute for professional advice. Lisa is a parenting coach, mom, and grandmother. She is not a licensed psychologist or counselor. Her services do not replace the care of psychologists or other healthcare professionals. For a full disclaimer, please visit bratbusters.com/disclaimer.